Hello, folks. Welcome to this examination. It's Dawn Busters, part of the Dawn Busters taste challenges, I guess we could call it. And I'm 2 minutes late. I couldn't find my glasses right before this. And secondly, I was watching this video from 1981. It was Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks, and it's the unreleased video. They made a music video. And I think there's two versions of that. And I guess they didn't like the way it came out, so they did another one that was released for MTV and HBO's, what was that called, Video Jukebox, and the Friday night videos on ABC, I believe, or NBC, I believe it was, back in those days. It was interesting. I started watching it, and so I ended up watching the whole thing all the way through. Another thing about that video is it's strange. It seems like the audio is different. I mean, you can tell it's not live. Even the live part where they're on stage is a stage set, and they're using those prop microphones, but the mix sounds different, like it almost as though it was recorded live in a studio. I don't know, it's strange, but anyway, another story. So for this Dawn Busters, I'm doing Ansac Cognac, VS grade, 3-star. That's the 3-star. And it is, you can see the bottle's about halfway gone, so we're closing it out. And I was wrong about this. I said that it was probably about $15 a bottle, the regular standard 750 milliliters. Didn't mute it. The 50 milliliter bottle, I said would be about $15, I thought, because I got this bottle very cheap, negotiated price at well, I was at Dorgnac's last Monday and earlier this week, and they had it in the 750 milliliter bottle, but it was actually $25.99, or is it $24.99? So about $25 a bottle. I got a much better deal than I had first believed. And that's the VS, $25 a bottle. So if you get the Ansac V.S.O.P or the Ansac XO, you can really expect to pay a good deal of money. Now, on the other hand, I bought the Hartley brandy V.S.O.P. So yeah, this is a V.S.O.P grade. Mean anything based on aging, the own quality. It's like the VS has to be what, age 3 years, and the VSOP 4 years. I think they're about to change it to 6 years, and then the XO has to be 6, and that's about to go up to 10. I'm not sure, but it's an aging grade. They used to use stars. The VS used to be called 3-star, and so on up the ladder to I think 5-star. But the English around 1910 adopted this very smooth or very special VS. It sounds better than saying level or basic level. And then they VSOP, very smooth old pale, and then the XO extra old grade. Okay, going on. I have the snifter glasses. I've got them tagged. Ansac A, Hartley H. The Ansac is from Cognac, the Cognac region of France. Thus, it is a Cognac brandy. There's a lot of brandy that's from France that's not Cognac. All Cognac is brandy, but all brandy is not Cognac. It's like bourbon. All bourbon is whiskey, but all whiskey is not bourbon. the Hartley is made with Italian brandy. Now, the old bottles used to say imported from Italy, but that's changed. The new bottles say made with Italian brandy, made with, I'm sorry, brandy with natural flavors and caramel color added. So at least they're giving you a disclosure there, which for whiskey is absolutely required. For beer and brandy, it is not required. Next, I was in a convenience store, the Shell station, which literally is where I'm pointing. About what? From a straight walk, less than a half a mile away, but having to go around highway route in a car, it would be half a mile. They had Hartley brandy on the shelf. I noticed this last week. Hartley brandy. That's what it said, Hartley brandy. I could see it from a distance, and I said to the cashier, I said, "Can I see that brandy?" And they had two different size bottles. Can't remember. It wasn't this big one, but it was two different sizes. I think one was glass, one was plastic. Didn't matter. I looked at the label. I said, I wonder if it says VS, because to my understanding, the VS is gone. And you only have the V.S.O.P and the flavored versions. Peach, whatever that thing is called, red berry, and another one is apple. And those are everywhere. Those are more popular. Southeastern Louisiana and the New Orleans area is inundated with Taka vodka flavors. There's billboards everywhere. The flavors of Taka. And so I don't know about your area, but Taka flavors is so popular, the flavored vodka. And they even had king cake flavor. So that's a huge thing around here. And the Hartley brandy, flavored brandies, which I've never tried, and I would probably say thankfully. But the bottle just said Hartley brandy. Didn't say VS, didn't say V.S.O.P. It just said Hartley brandy. So that was intriguing. I said, wait, situation that you run across that there's a hidden brand, something that is not listed on the website. And I think in this case, that is what's going on. And it did not say made with flavors of natural flavors and caramel color. So I don't know, it was bizarre. I didn't want to buy it though. I said, $3.89. I had that flask bottle of Hartley V.S. before, and it was so ghastly. When you got to negotiate each sip so that you don't throw it up or spit it out. That's the feeling I had with this one, that it was going to be such a nightmarish experience, but it was much better than I had first believed it was going to be. So it was a pleasant surprise. Okay, Carol says cheers. Cheers, Carol, over there in Poland. I believe you're in Poland, Charles. Carol. And Italian Carlo and Spanish Carlos. In French, Charles. All right. Hartley. Let's give it a little go. I got a fingerprint on the snifter. These are very small glasses. I could fill them both to the brim and drink them both, and I don't think it would have too much an effect. Put that on the side. So that's Italian originated to an extent brandy. 100% originated brandy cognac, Ansac. And it's a glass bottle, not thick glass too. You can hear that. You notice a lot of times the European glass is thicker and heavier. I think this will be very easy. I did a taste challenge last week between the Hennessy V.S.O.P. privilege, they call it V.S.O.P., and the Hartley, and they were you know, they're different, so you could tell them apart. Now, which one was better? That was sort of a call of what you want, a consumer question. If you wanted something with the, like Sazerac handles Hartley, which was, by the way, introduced in 1934, and it was a Barton Brands, which was acquired by Sazerac in 2009. But they're saying, you know, it's going to taste like buttered rum cake and these type of things. So if you want a flavored brandy that's going to have this butter rum cake, almost like ice cake frosting taste, then you might like it. If you want just straight brandy, then you're going to prefer the Hennessy V.S.O.P. And Hennessy's one of those divisive type things. Some people love it, especially the VS. You see the VS everywhere. Other people hate Hennessy. They despise it. They say it's just monstrously bad. That kind of thing. Sort of like Jack Daniels. You do that. That's like your Hennessy is like your worldwide popular brandy, cognac brandy. Jack Daniels is your worldwide popular whiskey, and you've got people that are they have fiery devotion to JD, and there's other people that just hate it. That if you mention the word Jack Daniels, they flip out. And in beer, it's the same thing. Budweiser, you got people that are devotees, they love Budweiser, and other people, if you mention the word Budweiser, it's like a vampire to a crucifix. They, I think they actually will die. Like if the sun comes out on a vampire, it dies. And I think if you crack open a Budweiser in front of some of these people, they would die. All right. The appearance. Well, they're about the same. This one here on my left hand is darker. That's already making me think it's the Hennessy. I mean the Ansac, and plus I think I put a little bit more of the Hartley in the glass. So yeah, you get that with those mainline brands. So the Jack Daniels would be your premier whiskey brand, and then in the line would be your Jim Beam, right? Bringing up the rear in the second spot. Not bringing up the rear, I mean trailing. Bringing up the rear might be T.W. Samuels. And then in the brandy world, you got the Hennessy, and your second spot is Courvoisier, which you have people that much more prefer that. Courvoisier, the #1 brand in the world. The second selling brand in the United States, because we know that the #1 beer brand in the United States is Bud Light, the watered down version of Budweiser. All right. I think absolutely, without any question, this is the Ansac. There's no buttered rum cake aroma at all. No natural flavoring type components that you might. It's just straight dried fruit, which makes sense since it's made from grapes. Brandy is like grape whiskey. Think of it like that. You have whiskey made from corn and barley malt and rye of various levels and percentages. And then you've got brandy made from grapes. So it's like grape whiskey, okay? And in some parts of the world, it's much more popular than whiskey. In the United States, it is very popular. You look on the Tax and Trade Bureau website, and I think it was the #2 selling spirit brand in the United States, brandy. Whiskey was #1, and then brandy was #2. They have the sales figures, not for each brand, but just the category. Pleasant smell, some alcohol burn in the nose, just your dried fruit, your grape, maybe grape skin, just a skin, flowers. Yeah, it's really a nice product. And when you think about the price I paid, it's nicer. Now here, the Hartley, I think this is Hartley. Oh, I mean, without a doubt. Just like Sazerac says, buttered rum cake. No, just Carol's. Okay. It is 6 in the morning. You know those Werther's Originals, something like that? Butterscotch. Some underlying mustiness, like old wood barrels. I think because they know if people drink it straight, that's coming straight from Italy, they won't buy it again. It's probably some pretty low grade stuff. Because how would it be $6.99 otherwise, right? I mean, do you see what I'm saying? This bottle was $6.99 on sale. Yeah, it's normally $7.99. I think I've seen it in Rouse's before at $5.99 sale. So, I mean, we are not talking about a top flight product. But on the other hand, flag, it is a very popular product for Louisiana. Now, you know, Louisiana's a poor state to other states, so that per capita income is low, you know. So you do have a lot of cheap stuff that sells very well over here. Like one of the top whiskey brands is T.W. Samuels. I know a guy who's a store manager. He said they sell an incredible amount of T.W. Samuels whiskey, cases a week. For what reason? Do people buy it to go and do examinations and think about it and add it in the glass and try to get a handle on it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they just drinking it to go mix it with Coke. Refined Coca-Cola and store brand cola. Best choice cola, and get here in some of the communities get bent with this thing. But the sales are there, so I don't know really what people are doing with this Hartley brandy. I mean, I know they're drinking it, but I don't know how they're preparing it. It does have an underlying brandy, you know, it's the burn in the nose and all of that stuff. So let's go with the taste. I mean, this is no kind of contest. As far as differentiation, it's a contest as far as flavor and quality, naturally. There's a spice to this. Dried fruits. Even natural mint, like if you grew mint in your garden. My mother used to grow mint. She'd always be putting mint leaves in tea when she would drink tea. She never drank tea with any sugar, just straight tea. She didn't play around with sugar in tea. Iced tea or hot. Now, to me, it was too bitter and just needed sugar, but she was not into that. This brandy, this cognac is so complex. And this is just the VS grade. Now, like I said, it's $25 a bottle for the regular size bottle. I think it may have more complexity than the Hennessy or the Courvoisier. And the sales for this is minuscule compared to those two big timers. But we know how that story goes. Sometimes your obscure, unknown, relatively unknown brands are better, and they'll have a following, a cult following. Now they're saying on their website, you know, we're smaller, we're a smaller operation, it's more handcrafted type stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's a smaller operation within a huge conglomerate in France that produces all types of food products. But it does seem to have a little more of a handcrafted, maybe more of like a craft brandy. I don't know. Now Hartley, I don't know what it is. It's small time, but it's part of a big time company. And secondly, I don't know who in Italy is making it. You cannot track that down. You cannot find out who in Italy is making this stuff. But my suspicion is some huge distillery somewhere probably near Rome or inside of Rome that is churning out major and massive amounts of various distilled beverages, gin, brandy, perhaps whiskey, well, who knows what, and it's all being sold under various brand names across Europe and America. This I do not know. It's a suspicion. I cannot back it up. It's out to whoever bids for it. And the people bidding for it, they know it's not exactly good, but they can take it to America, for instance, like Sazerac, and treat it to make it decent enough. And I think that's what they're doing. They're taking this over to Buffalo Trace. It's coming in some big shipping container, maybe on rail, 18-wheeler tank. It could be coming up the Mississippi River and then the Ohio River. Who knows? And it's being unloaded, and they're treating it, maybe aging it a little further and adding the flavoring and the coloring. And I think the Italian brandy is just being used as a base. And who knows, Sazerac might own the dang thing, the distillery over there in Europe, because I know they have operations around the world. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna, it's okay. I mean, it's, you know, like a Three Musketeers bar and sugar, Werther's Original, some menthols, almost like a Ricola. It's a strange item. But compared to its previous configuration, the VS, it's not bad. That one was just ghastly, and I couldn't stand it. The worst distilled beverage I ever bought. The worst. Well, this is far from the best, but it's not the worst, and it's it's serviceable. If I was grading it on my Alcohol Eggs page group over on Facebook, I'd give it 2 stars out of 5. It's average. 1 star would be poor. No stars would be a bomb, a turkey, undrinkable. 3 stars would be good, 4 stars would be excellent, and 5 stars would be unbeatable in every way. And that's how I rank albums, rock albums. You know, 5 stars, exceptional, perfect in every way, like Rumors. 4 would be excellent, and a lot of albums can fit in there. It has some little minor flaws, maybe a couple of filler songs, but overall it's something you need to have. 3 would be good, but you could skip it or buy it. It's good. You don't mind listening to it. 2 would be it's fair. It's got a few good songs, mostly filler, and K. Every 10 years you can listen to it. Then you don't listen to it for 10 more years and you don't miss it. 1 star would be a bad album. It's just bad. You know, the artist was cashing it in, you know, mailing it in. They had to finish a contract, so they just 1995 Black Sabbath album. What was the name of that album? Might have one good song on it. And No Stars is a bomb. It has no redeeming value. It's trash. You should not have it in your record collection. If you do have it in your record collection, you should smash it and throw it in the trash. Like Metal Machine music, for instance. Well, Ansac is the clear winner. It's much more complex. It has no all flavors or aromas. It's just, I mean, it's not a dodgy, like they say in Great Britain, England. It's not a dodgy product. It's just a straight up legit product. The Hartley V.S.O.P, it's sort of like a dodgy product. You know, because it's rated V.S.O.P, but yet they have flavorings added. That's obviously done to mask. And if you think on it and drink on it enough, you can start picking up some of the badness to it. Overall, the way they execute it's not bad. But on the other hand, it's not too great. It costs $6.99 for that bottle, and it tastes like that's what it should cost, $6.99. It tastes like the price. But some people will make that trade-off. They say, I don't care if it tastes cheap. I'm just trying to get drunk, and I'll pay $6.99. This would be a perfect product for that. That's not my regimen, so it's not a perfect product for me. But I tried it. You know, $6.99. I didn't waste it. It wasn't a waste because I paid a price to get something that was worth the price. If it was $7.99, it's still worth it. If it's $8.99, then you want to start shying away from it. Now, that should tell you something. So let's check it out. I know I got it right. Yeah, Ansac. It's $25 a bottle, and it's worth it. Now you might say, screw that. I'm not paying $25 a bottle for brandy. E&J VS. And you can do that. That's $9.99. And it's better than the $9.99, okay? You're getting a pretty good, or you might get Paul Masson VS for $9.99, the Grand Amber. Or you might get Christian Brothers VS for $9.99. And they're all a little better $9.99, but they come from major, huge companies, and they can price it at a low price point just to get in Walmart, get on the shelf at Walmart, and you're going to see those three at any Walmart that sells alcohol, and you'll get a good value. But they're not going to be as complex as just Ansac. No way. You can't lie to yourself and say, I bought Paul Masson VS. It's just as good as Ansac. You're just saying that because you paid $9.99 and you don't want to pay $24.99. You know that. And no one in their right mind is going to buy this Hartley V.S.O.P. and claim that it's as good as E&J V.S.O.P. with the blue label. No one is going to be crazy to say that because there's no way. It's not even, it's impossible. You put this up against E&J V.S.O.P. and it's a joke. There's no contest. And you might make the trade-off. You say, yeah, but that's $14.99 for the E&J, or maybe $11.99 on sale in my town. I would rather pay $6.99. It's all a scale, however you want to price it. But none of them are bad. Like I say, at least a C average, fair. I mean, the Hartley gets a C. It's fair. It's not a kid that's real smart in your class. He ain't going to college. If he does go to college, you know he's not going to finish. He needs to be going to work at the refinery. You're not going to say he's a bad student, but he's just average. You know what I mean? All right. Whereas the Ansac, that's a B student, a good student, B plus, really. Not going to excel in college, but can go to college, get the bachelor's degree, do okay. Not going to set the world on fire, but it's competent. You know, that's how you, that's the analogy you use. So thank you for watching this taste challenge. Wasn't much of a challenge. You can see the sun has come up. It's still very cloudy, but that's it. So next week, I think we're going to be looking at some tea challenge and another brandy challenge. I think that's what we're gonna. That's the intention. Thank you.